Hello everyone. Uh, Today we will be accessing one system. And no place for the introduction and everything. Just directly to the topic. We have to do some of the things. Like uh, we have two things. We have Metasploit 2 installed on our system, and the other thing which we have is the Kali Linux. Both are installed on the VirtualBox. So what we are going to do today is to access Metasploit 2 system via SSH remotely from Kali Linux. But initially we don't know the user password, and we will get to know from this Kali machine only. First, let us start that Metasploit 2 machine, and once we start that, we will be looking for the configuration and we will be looking for the connection. So this is my Metasploit 2 machine, and this is my Kali machine. So let us start this Metasploit 2. So now our Metasploit 2 machine is started. So it will ask you for the login ID and the password. So initially we will have to enter the login ID and the password in the Metasploit 2 machine. But later on, according to the scenario, we don't know anything. We don't know the user ID. We don't know the password, and we'll have to uh, find everything from the Kali Linux interface. So by default, its username and password is MSF admin. So as you can see that our Metasploit 2 machine has started. So initially it will ask you for the user ID and password. So in the beginning, we'll have to enter the user ID and password so that this IP address, this virtual machine's IP address is accessible from the system on the local machine. And I'm clarifying this that we have to use all these knowledge for a good purpose, for ethical purpose only. And this video is just for educational purpose. I don't want to give any kind of knowledge which will be later on used for some unethical or some black hat hacking. I'm never on for that. Okay, so initially we'll have to enter the user ID and password. So we write IFCONFIG to know what the IP address is. So now we know the IP address. So we'll go to Kali machine to look that this machine is accessible or not. So first of all, we'll open the terminal and we will try to ping this IP address. So first let us give its root permission. So now we have the root permission. So we'll try to ping this. This was the IP address. Yeah, its pinging means this, that Metasploit 2 is accessible throughout the system. So we'll terminate this pinging request. Now we'll have to look for the password. Not for the password. We'll have to look for the network map, like what are the ports which are open on the destination and what are the other services which are available throughout the network, or like the open ports, closed port. That we can do using nmap, then IP address. Simply press enter, and you will get all the information whatever is going on the network. So for SSH, we can see that this is the port uh, which is there for SSH. So now we know the port. We now have the IP address. So if you have a question like how will you get the IP address of some other system, like initially we took IP address from the Metasploit 2 machine itself. So if you let's try something like, if you ping any of the destination, like this is my website. So I will try pinging it to know that what is the IP address. Once you ping any destination, now you can see this is our IP address for this website. So it's not really hard to get IP address of any machine throughout the world for whatever the system you are trying to check. So now now we know the port. Now we have the IP address. Two things. Now we have to know that username. And for the username, we use a library mm, from the Kali Linux, which is inbuilt. So we will simply enlist all the users and whatever the configuration is going on. So we use enum for Linux. enum for Linux space the IP address. For our case, it's 192.168.0.123. So now it will start listing everything. So as we know that our user is something like MSF admin, so we'll now look that where is it showing all the user thing, all the listed users. So we'll look here. We'll go little up in the index. Like these are the places where the user are mentioned, and we can see in this line that it is MSF admin, and means certainly we'll get a normal list like this is games, nobody, all are the users, but we'll have to find some of the information, the relevant information regarding the server, regarding the target server. So for our case we got the user ID, or we can try making a text list of all these users, and we can mention while having the brute force attack, like we can mention everything in a text file, like it will check for all the users and for all the passwords in the password txt list. So now we have the user, and we have the IP address, and we have the port number. So now for brute forcing, we use some of the things. So I have a password list which I have created in a txt form. So first we will navigate to there. It's somewhere. Let me see, where is it? Uh, it's at desktop. Once you press tab, it will complete the line. Again, we'll do ls. We will, okay. It's in exp. So we'll do cd exp, press enter. Now we'll look ls. Yeah, this is the list which we are going to use today. So for brute forcing, there are two or three things. There are certain packages inbuilt in the Kali Linux. One of them is Medusa, which will literally run throughout your password list and throughout your what we call it, a user list. So initially we know the username, so we just have to crack the password or brute for the password. So we'll write Medusa, then a space h for the host, which is 192.168.0.123. Then again a space, then again we have to define the user, which is by dash u, which is msf admin, sorry, msf admin. And for the password we have to write dash capital P, then a space, then we have to mention the file name or the path of the file. For our case it's this file, this gm.txt. So we'll write here gm.txt, press enter. You must specify a module name. Yeah, we have to specify the module name. So for that we'll write dash m space ssh, it is the module name. So now it has started looking for the password, it has started running throughout the list, and once we know the user and password, now then we'll come to know that how can we log in. And again I'm saying that this video is just for educational purpose. It is not intended to do any unethical or any illegal kind of activity, because this kind of brute force are very illegal in many of the countries, and without a legal permission you are not allowed to do any kind of vulnerability check or any kind of password cracking or something. So make sure you are not doing any illegal things, and this video is obviously for the educational purpose. So let it complete, and I'll resume. So this brute force attack is still running, and we can see different details over here. Like this is the type of module is SSH, the host IP address is this one, and the user ID obviously we are trying, which is MSF admin, and these are the password which are which it is trying. Depending on the list number of the password in your word list, it can take time. Sometimes it takes in hours, sometimes For the bigger systems it takes around more than a day, a week, that depends. So it's a brute force attack is not very like you can use it everywhere. So other things are like using in place of brute force. We gather different kind of information like what are the mistakes done by the user or the admin, which website is, or whoever the host is, whoever the target is. So we'll find to look for the vulnerability in the system, and depending upon that we do different kind of attacks. So here we can see it has successfully gave us the username and password. So now we'll try to access that SSH, and we will see that are we going to enter the root or not. So for logging into SSH, we simply write SSH space. Then we have to write the username, which is MSF admin. Then at the rate. And then we have to write the host IP address 192.168.0.123. It's giving a kind of error. So it's saying that no matching host key type found. For this case, you can see this, their offer is SSH RSA. So we'll try using a different command. For that, it will be the same command, just little bit modification. Like we'll use some module. So it is SSH, then we'll have to write dash, then a small o, then host key algorithms. I'm typing a little slow so that everyone can see. And we will have to define the type of algorithm as well. So for that, we'll write equal to plus. Here we can see SSH dash RSA. So we will write SSH dash RSA, then a space, this thing, or whatever we have written over here, this thing. So I'll simply copy and paste. For copying in Linux, you have to press Control Shift C, and for pasting, you have to press Control Shift V. So we are done with the command. This is the command for this kind of error. So we'll press enter. So now it's asking for the password, and as we can see that this is our password, so we will simply either we can copy or we can type as well. So we'll simply paste it over here. Password is not visible, so we can't see. We will simply press enter. So see, now we are inside that metasploitable 2 machine from this Kali machine. Initially we were not knowing the user ID, we were not knowing the password. For knowing the that who are you in the system, that what is the role of you in the system, you can normally write who am I. So it's showing our username. And for gaining the root access in any kind of Linux server, we simply write sudo su. We will try using the same password. If it works, it's okay. If it doesn't work, we'll use some other kind of technique. So it's asking for password. So we will again enter the password and press enter. Again, we'll write the same command like who am I. Hi. It's showing root. See, now we are in there. Now we can do anything. We can access files, we can change anything, we can do anything. We can do anything within this server. We have the root access now. So that's it for the today. And this video was very short, not for the beginners. For the intermediate level, I can say, who should know the basic Linux commands and many of the things like the file system in the Linux, how we navigate between the files, and for installing this Metasploitable 2 machine and Kali Linux machine on a VirtualBox, there are many videos available on the internet and very well on the YouTube as well. So I'm wrapping it up here. If you have any question regarding this, that if you are getting some other kind of error, you can put a comment in the comment box. I have no subscriber. This is my new channel. I've tried many times, but I never get success. So that's it for the today. Bye.